Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. For today, New Zealand versus Argentina, look ahead. We'll not be doing a live show before the team announced. They are announced tomorrow morning. Well, this morning rather, actually. What's today? Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. Yeah, they are actually now. I'm actually going to the Argentina press conference today. We'll not be here at the New Zealand press conference, unfortunately, because I'll actually be at the airport about to fly back to South Africa. So I'll actually maybe have a bit of an update video on how the trip was. Maybe I'll do that at the airport a bit later. So, but yeah, I thought I'd just put a video out here, just talk a little about this game. Do Argentina have a chance? Of course, they've got a chance. And what do they need to do to beat this All Black side that are threatening to be back in a big way, that are threatening to be the All Black of old and go and win a World Cup, for example. Some people have told us the worst World Cups, worst All Black side ever. They could be World Cup champions if they win the next two games. So a lot of different things to talk about. Before I do that, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. How do you beat New Zealand as Argentina? You've got to batter them. You've got to batter them, and you've got to put them on the back foot. If you allow New Zealand to start well, to get on the front foot, to dominate collisions, to dominate set piece, to give this back line any sort of front foot ball, it's going to be a long day. Breakdown is so important, and no Pablo Mateo this weekend will be a big factor for Argentina. They need somebody to stand up. You've got to defend like your life depends on it. At the end of the day, you look at those the two victories that Argentina have had against New Zealand, one of them in Christchurch last year, by the way, which is why you cannot underestimate this Argentina side and say that this is a done fixture. Yes, I think those teams are very different. I think Argentina haven't quite been at that level since. I think New Zealand are a different level to that. But it's knockout rugby, and it's about who pitches up on the day. But those performances were characterized by them winning key moments, turnovers, for example, forcing knock-ons, creating a bit of chaos within that New Zealand side. You've got to make them uncomfortable. You've got to unsettle them in some way. That's how the Box beat New Zealand in August. If you allow New Zealand to settle into the game and you allow us All Blacks a little bit of time, they'll start to dictate the play. They'll start to really get confident. And when you start seeing chips ahead, you start seeing chips in behind, and they start sort of really dictating where you play on the field. That's where they're so dangerous because then all of a sudden you've had teams who are under pressure. They're maybe not clearing well. Maybe they're losing ball under pressure, turnover ball, quick turnover ball, and that's when New Zealand can strike. Quick turnover ball or a bad clearance, for example, where suddenly Argentina, the defense line isn't particularly well set. There are players in that New Zealand side that will identify that space very, very quickly and exploit it. So you cannot give them space. You've got to make sure defensively and structurally you're absolute best against the All Blacks. No matter what All Black side it is, that's what you got to do well against the All Blacks. For the All Blacks to beat Argentina, it's a similar thing, isn't it? You need your big players to get you on the front foot, hammer down that set piece, make sure the line's operating, make sure that scrum is operating. And yeah, if you're winning the collisions and you're getting on the front foot, back your players. Your Artie Severes are going to get over the line. If they're getting over the line, if Chad Brazil's getting over the line, and they're creating those half line breaks, potential line breaks, that's when New Zealand can score tries for fun. When they're creating those half gaps and they're creating those line breaks, the support player, I've seen it in person. It's incredible. As soon as one New Zealand player makes a line break, you'll see 4 or 5 absolutely busting the gut to make themselves available as an option on either shoulder. And that's where they score so many tries. How often do we see a line break and the player's got option to his right and he's got option to his left? And he can sort of pick one or you can sort of sell the dummy, for example. Their support play is really good, or else he can kick to the left or the right because he knows his wings are chasing really hard. So I think that there are certain things you can do against New Zealand. I personally would be testing them under the high ball a little bit in the early stages and seeing how they cope with that. Arsenal are not a particularly big backline, for example, but some very exciting players. Mateus Carreras, for example, had a man in that performance a couple of weeks ago, looked actually brilliant. Obviously, the centers, I think, are also a big game ahead. For me, it'll be interesting to see how they go with the 10. Santiago Carreras has been preferred and will likely start. Nicolas Sanchez has looked so good off the bench, and he's a big game player. So I think he'll definitely be at the very least on the bench this weekend. A lot of it comes down to the measure of the men. New Zealand have got World Cup winners, and that will definitely make a big difference. And this is where Argentina need their big players to step up. Your Marcus Premers, your Julio Montoya's, and then your exciting players as well. Like Jean Martin, Hernandez. He's a phenomenal player. I think he's gonna be a world beater one day. And these are the occasions. Lucia Sinti is a very nice player as well. These are the occasions where these young next level players, can put their hands up and announce themselves on the big stage. That everyone's got that sort of breakout game, that breakout moment, that moment where you realize that they're not just good, they're great and that they're world class. And these are the games where you can create heroes. Heroes are made in semi-finals. Get them to the first final ever. Put them in contention to win a first World Cup ever. That's the opportunity they've got. That they'll be very passionate. So discipline obviously needs to be very good against the All Blacks as well. Can't allow them to build scoreboard pressure because they do it very well. But yeah, give it a go. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.